Continuing our video series looking at Allied force contributions to NATO multinational units in the Baltics, let's look at three nations present in Lithuania: Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. One of these nations sends between 200 and 300 personnel to Lithuania, another sends nearly 200, and the other sends just about 6 soldiers. Can you guess which is which? So, Belgium and the Netherlands each deploy approximately 200 personnel. Honestly, we might have been able to put out a video for each of these countries, as we recently did with Croatia, but then it would be strange to have a video exclusively for Luxembourg's small contribution. And so it just made sense for us to have an extra large video covering the Benelux countries. After all, the three nations are often grouped together through political and economic cooperation. Additionally, as this video shows, the three countries work together militarily as well. Here you can see the Netherlands' 43 Gemechaniseerde Brigade controlling the loading of Belgian and Luxembourgish vehicles for the rotation to Lithuania. But going country by country, let's start off with the contribution from the Netherlands. According to the Dutch Ministry of Defense, the country's contribution currently entails approximately 200 military personnel, which may be expanded to 350 personnel if the government deems it necessary. At the beginning, in February 2017, the Netherlands contributed approximately 270 soldiers to the German-led NATO Enhanced Forward Presence Battalion battle group. Almost immediately after Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the Netherlands, as well as Norway, responded by sending additional troops to Lithuania. Just like other nations, the Dutch unit operates its own weaponry and equipment in Lithuania, including CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles, Fennec armored reconnaissance vehicles, Boxer armored personnel carriers, and armored recovery vehicles. We've also seen the Royal Netherlands Army deploy its Leopard 2A6 main battle tanks to the Baltic nation, and Dutch PZH-2000s have appeared as well. In terms of specific units, we've seen soldiers from either the Netherlands' 13th Light Brigade deployed or the country's 43rd Mechanized Brigade. The latter has included deployment from the 414 Tank Battalion, which is a fully integrated German-Dutch unit, something that is said to be a rather unique form of cooperation within NATO. The Dutch website Defense Photography has a fairly interesting write-up covering one 2023 deployment of the 43rd Mechanized Brigade. It noted that sea transport for the rotation to Lithuania was operated by a ship called the New Amsterdam, a so-called roll-on roll-off ship rented from a Swedish transport company. The deputy commander of the 43rd Mechanized Brigade, Colonel Klein Schaasberg, explained at the time, "The roll-on roll-off ship located here in the port of Eemshaven is a guaranteed capacity because we have rented the ship for a number of years. So with this capacity we can do loading and unloading when necessary." The article notes that in the past, ships were hired for these missions, one task at a time. However, doing so became increasingly expensive and more difficult due to increasing scarcity in the shipping market. While things have mostly been smooth for deployments to Lithuania, things were off to a rough start, as in mid-2017 it was reported that 4 Dutch soldiers serving in the Baltic country were sent back to the Netherlands after they were arrested for getting into a fight. According to Lithuanian police reports, 2 of the soldiers attacked a Lithuanian man. Lithuanian media reported that the men had been drinking and that the cause of the dispute may have been an unpaid bill. As someone had noted in a previous video, soldiers drinking and getting out of hand happens from time to time and is just an unfortunate part of military life. Of course, when it happens on international missions, it's a particularly bad look. But again, it's the only negative piece of news that appeared during our research of the Dutch mission in Lithuania. In May 2024, it was reported that the Netherlands would continue its participation in NATO's Enhanced Forward Presence mission in Lithuania until the end of 2026. This extension noted that between 270 and 300 Dutch soldiers would be stationed in Lithuania. But let's leave the Netherlands and move over to Belgium. According to defenseblog.com, soldiers of the Belgian Armed Forces first arrived in Lithuania for their NATO Enhanced Forward Presence mission in January 2017. An advance party, over 100 Belgian troops deployed with their weaponry as well as their roughly 50 vehicles, this made up the Belgian contingent's forward logistical group. This group was mainly formed by soldiers serving with the country's 18th and 29th Logistics Battalions, with medical and military police units attached. Subsequent Belgian rotations have included a mechanized infantry company of 150 to 250 soldiers. A September 2018 report by the Lithuanian Armed Forces noted that the rotation during this specific time was formed by the Belgian 1st/3rd Battalion of Lancers. Belgian troops would leave Lithuania for a short time, moving up to Estonia. In late 2018, early 2019, an armoured manoeuvring unit of 200 troops was stationed at Tapa base. The Belgians took over from the Danes and were later replaced by the French 5 months later. A social media post from later in 2019 notes that one of the rotations during this particular year included troops from Bataljon Bevrijden 5e Linie. This unit operates the Piranha 3C and ATF Dingo 2 armoured vehicles. The Dingo is equipped with a 12.7mm Ross autocannon. Video from 2021 showing Belgian forces training in Lithuania noted that the soldiers captured in the video were from the 1st Carabiniers Prins Baldewijn Grenadiers. A 2022 social media post shows Belgian vehicles being unloaded at a Lithuanian port. The 150 troops deployed for this 6-month rotation mainly came from the Ardennes Chasseurs Battalion, with support from other units, such as the 4th Communications and Information Systems Group and the 29th Logistics Battalion. And then, in August 2023, it was reported that about 150 Belgian soldiers deployed to Lithuania again. Most of the detachment was again provided by the country's Ardennes Chasseurs Battalion, along with the same supporting units. The Belgian article noted that equipment included the Piranha 8x8 armoured vehicle equipped with 30mm and 90mm cannons. A social media post from 2024 notes that a reconnaissance squadron deployed to Lithuania utilized the 6x6 Pandur, which recently underwent an update to enhance protection, weaponry, communication systems, and optics. And finally, a July 2025 report stated that Belgium's most recent contribution includes a reconnaissance squadron of around 100 soldiers, an artillery task force with 70 troops, about 10 staff officers, and a support unit of roughly 10 soldiers specializing in logistics, medical support, and military police. And so we've reached the third and final Benelux country, Luxembourg. In February 2017, it was reported that Luxembourg would deploy troops to Lithuania starting in July of that year. The country would send 22 soldiers to perform transportation and logistics operations. The soldiers brought logistical equipment via Klaipėda Seaport too, roughly 10 transportation trucks of different modifications. It was also stated that from 2018 onwards, soldiers from Luxembourg would maybe be involved in reconnaissance and satellite operations later on. Later reporting stated that an intelligence unit was deployed in 2018, although other sources note a reconnaissance unit. All we know for sure is that during at least one 2018 rotation, a Luxembourgish unit of 25 soldiers joined the Belgian mechanized infantry company in Lithuania. We couldn't find much information for Luxembourgish deployments between 2019 and 2021. However, we know that in 2022, 6 soldiers were stationed in Lithuania, 4 since the beginning of the year, and 2 since February 28th, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The team made up a transport and logistics unit, moving supplies and equipment across the country in support of the battle group's mission. Here's a NATO video where the soldiers describe their work in Lithuania.
The main job of the Luxembourgish guys in Lithuania is everything in common with the transport. So real-life support, we're supporting the battle groups. So when they are working or training in the field, we support them with food, with ammunition, with fuel, with everything they need to fight in the battlefield.
We assume this role and level of commitment stayed the same for 2023, and things were bumped up slightly in 2024. In addition to the 6 soldiers working in transportation, a 7th service member from Luxembourg was deployed as an information and communication systems officer within the battle group staff. Equipment deployed from Luxembourg is said to include the Palfinger Krailer FLG 140, used to transport heavy items on and off containers, trailers, and vehicles. The Luxembourg Army has also provided a so-called reach-back satellite link capability between the area of operation and the headquarters. So that's everything we could find on the Benelux contribution to the Enhanced Forward Presence, or Forward Land Forces missions in the Baltics. Of course, we need to quickly add that Belgium and the Netherlands have also sent fighter jets to support the Baltic Air Police mission in the region. To date, the Belgians have sent their F-16s on 12 rotations of the Baltic Air Police mission, twice to Poland, 6 times to Lithuania, 4 times to Estonia. The Dutch have participated in 5 Baltic Air Police rotations to date, 3 times with their F-16s and 2 times with their newer F-35s. 2 rotations were to Poland, 1 was to Estonia, and 2 were to Lithuania. So, what are your thoughts on all of these deployments? Which piece of equipment from these countries would you be most excited to see for yourself? Let us know by leaving a comment.